BackChat, powered by Paywise in season 2025. This is a special edition, a bit of a collaboration between the Kaya podcast. Izzy, my man, is next to me. No Daniel.
No Dan. Don't think Dan got a tan. He hasn't been to Europe. He hasn't been to Europe.
You idiot. So, is from the Kaya podcast, which is you're one half of it.
Yeah, half of it, and my other half is here with us as well.
Correct, but he's the guest today, Sonny Walters. Hello, mate.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks
and
for
just
being
to
here.
make it clear,
Yes.
I am the main half.
Right.
So 70-30. I'm the 70.
That's what we like to tell people. We like to let him think that. Yeah.
70-38 halves, boys, just so you know.
It's a great 30.
Oh, this is going to be fun. So this is a BackChat guest podcast, but we're going to be putting this across both platforms. So thanks for joining us, boys. I'm going to start with the first question we ask every guest that sat right there. Thanks to TABtouch in season 2025. Greatest sporting moment. Michael Walters, we know you're a footy player, mate. All right, over almost 300 games for free. You've been 5-time leading goal kicker. You're All-Australian. You captain the Indigenous All-Stars. We know you can play footy, right? We know you can play footy. We want to know what you can do not on the football field. Your greatest sporting achievement not on the footy field. Well, and if you need, are you straight into it? I was going to say.
Take some time, think about it.
No, well, it's one of those things where you always think about it anyway. Yeah. What else do I have to offer? Yeah. In life.
And is it anything? Or?
Not much, no. The only good thing about it is I can talk, and I talk a leg off a chair, and I talk shit essentially. Yeah, so I think that's one of my greatest achievements.
No, I was sporting achievement.
Sporting achievement.
Yeah. I mean, you're a basketball player.
I'd smoke him in basketball.
That's what he says. That's what he says.
You're lucky I got one knee at the moment because
we've been running for how many minutes now? I don't think he's told the truth once. So why would we believe that?
Okay, great. So what do you got for me? You need a sporting achievement. So for instance, I was a good footy player. Right, but I'm the state champion under 9 80-metre hurdler of Victoria in about 1997.
You hurdle.
Mate, I'm fastest in the state. Absolutely, 80 metres.
I don't think those legs can lift up.
Fastest in the state. I was beach flags champion in under 12s for Jan Juck Surf Club. Mm-hmm. What have you got?
No, well, so I love my basketball growing up.
Yes.
So I played a bit with Nick Nat, who is terrible, by the way. Everyone thinks he can play because he's height, but he's not. He done one dunk at the Wildcats, and that's been his highlight ever since. So I played a bit of basketball growing up. My greatest achievement, proud Aboriginal man from Perth, NAIDOC Carnival, MVP, got it.
Really?
So, as a young kid too, by the way. I think I was 14, 15, so I'm quite proud of that, and I bring it up all the time.
So you were a shooter?
A bit of both. I can take it down the lane.
We're going to have to fact check that. We're going to have to ask Mickey or a couple other fellas.
There's a few people out there that can tell you.
Good. So. I'll take that. Well done. I don't mind that MVP under 15. So I want to take it back to the beginning, though, and life growing up. I know where you got to as a football player, but where did it start?
Yeah, so I started in Midland. I grew up on the same street as Nick Nat Nui, Chris Aaron. So guys that I wanted to follow in the same career as, and I was lucky enough that Nico was the next big thing. He was the big prodigy that was coming through, and I sort of rode on his coattails for a little bit. And those boys actually made it easy for me to be seen. I'm obviously a year younger than those boys, but growing up was just a lot of sport, a lot of messing around in Midland. We got into mischief a few times, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, I mean, to have those boys and chasing the same dreams as those boys was something that I'm proud of, and yeah, we just seem to make it easy.
So if it's a pickup game of footy on the street back in the day, who's taking the chockies?
Well, Nico was a string bean, so he was skinny, tall, lanky, could barely walk. He's like a giraffe. He could barely walk, but he always had the height. So I guess if you were going to say who would be the best, Chris Sharon would be up there.
And quickest.
Well, Nick Nat was quick, but Yaz was quick. Yaz was quick, and Nico just had those long legs. Like I said, he's gangly. He was almost falling over sometimes. So against the wind, struggled. With the wind, was probably the best.
Who was the instigator? So there's always someone in the group that's like, you got to kind of convince them to come out for a kick. Because I'm pretty sure you'll be the one trying to get them to come out.
Yeah, so me and Chris are always the ones that were sort of trying to get Nick out. Nick was one of those guys that's more basketball, but didn't really play too much footy. Not until, obviously he started coming out with us boys and having a kick, and we realised, we need a ruckman at the footy club. So come along and get some boots and see how it goes.
Was there any ever time in your career with any of those lads that there was a chance to play together at any clubs? I hadn't thought about that, but like given you grew up together in the same street, you'd have an amazing connection.
Yeah,
so I was just wondering if there's any ever chance to play.
I've actually never thought about it. Even throughout my career, like I always wanted to be a one club player, and I was lucky that Freo picked me up. I got to stay home. I was only 17, almost 18, so I was young. But in saying that, I've never ever thought about leaving Freo. Never ever thought about, to be honest, going to play with Nick or Chris either. So we sort of just made it to the AFL, and we sort of stuck with our clubs, and that was essentially it.
What about when you played against each other? Was there was it shake hands and then your enemies, or was it like a bit of chat out in the field?
Oh, as you know, there's a lot of chat out on the footy field. But with those boys, there's always chats. Nico, I still remember a Western Derby, Subiaco Oval. It might have been 2012, 13, whatever it may be. He was sort of crouched down, getting ready to get the ruck, and I was sort of walking through the centre circle. And I gave him a bit of a nudge while he's sitting on the ground. He's like, fucking piss weak. And I was like, mate, calm down, like, relax. So I gave him a bit of a knock there, and every time he tried to run past me, I'd whack him, and he'd get pissed off, like he's a sook. Yeah. He's a sook. Okay. So
you said that.
Yeah, there was bits and pieces where you do run past each other, talk some shit to each other, and then you just move on.
I feel like you have to. It's standard.
Well, you do, yeah. And I was the one with the footy majority of the time, so they were sort of chasing me.
Was it important to stay home?
Yeah, it was. I think, like, I had no dramas with if the club wanted to trade me or whatever, but I sort of, like I said before, I've always wanted to be a one-club player. I sort of wanted to stay loyal to the footy club, and they gave me the opportunity as a young kid, and I've also had a lot of role models throughout that club as well, so they sort of looked after me, and, the club was moving in the right direction, but us, with the history of the Indigenous players at Fremantle, as a young kid, I grew up going for Geelong, but...
Did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. So I grew up going for Geelong, but then I was always going to Fremantle games, watching the Wiz, Jeff Farmer and Des Hedlunds, Michael Johnsons and stuff like that. So, I was always going to stay at Freo.
How'd you go for Geelong growing up?
Well, my dad went for him. And I loved the Ben Grahams, Peter Riccardi's. Peter Riccardi was one of my favourite players.
Mate, you and I can trade notes here.
Mate, were you Geelong, obviously?
Absolutely. Mate, I was at every game.
Yeah, well, there you go. So I've always wanted to go to Cardinia Park as a young kid, and you're like, oh, man, how good would it be going there? And so, yeah, Geelong was a big part of my childhood. Like, I just loved them. Every game, I never missed it. And, yeah, it was weird, but my dad went for him.
Mate, and you would have been this guy at Auskick clinics or at schools going out, and I bet you're the memory for some kids. Like, I remember the time Michael Walters came to school. For me, growing up in Geelong, Ronnie Burns, number 8 for Geelong.
Mate, right, superstar, rockin' Ronnie.
Mate, Ronnie Burns, Clint Bizzle, and Darren Milburn came out to Grovedale West, my primary school. I'll never forget it, and it's always stuck with me because. Once, you get to the AFL, and sometimes it feels like a bit of a dream, doesn't it? It's like, especially when you grow up following it, you're like, how am I here? But it always made me, when I was in schools, like really treat it like it was going to be the biggest moment. Because I'm a 36-year-old man. I still remember the day Ronnie Burns shook my hand at school. You know what I mean? And so, did you have stuff like that, or do you used to think that when you're doing school stuff? And
no, yeah, definitely. Like you always think about those sort of things, and I still remember when JL and Michael Johnson came out to Midvale Primary, and you're like, "Wow, this is crazy!" And then I remember going to a Geelong Freo game, and for some reason Geelong came to Midvale Primary as well, and I got to see Benny Graham and Enright when he was younger, and it was just like Joel Corey, I think, because West Australian as well, and you're like, "This is crazy! Like, what are Geelong's here at my school in Midland, which is crazy." And one of my games, I think it might have been the second game, we ended up playing against Geelong at Subiaco Oval, and I wore my Pop's slippers there. Socks up, slippers before the game, walking in the change rooms. The Geelong team bus rolls up, and you can just see them all staring at me. And I got out onto the ground, and I was looking at, Matty Scarlett, who's someone that I looked up to and idolised, and Gary Ablett running around, and first thing they go, like, as I go and walk inside forward 50, first thing is, how's your Pop slippers going? And I was like, this is... And I was like, I used to love you. I fucking hate you now. I hate you now. But, no, it was one of those things like, you idolise these players, and you go out on the footy field and you're like, you're just in awe of them. You feel like they're wearing halos on their head, essentially. And it was just like, this is the best moment of my life.
Well, when I finished play with Peel for a year, and I was, I don't know, 33, 34, and mate, Joel Corey, which one of your coaches, is down there coaching, and I'm still like nuffy mode. Like I'm like, yes, Joel Corey's my coach. Was that a bit like cause he's been at the footy club for a number of years, right?
Yeah, and like I remember when he first got there, I was like, mate, I used to love you growing up. Like number 11, big, strong player. Obviously, I played a bit of footy against him, but at the same time, it's like to see him on your team. It's like, man, I loved you growing up. Like it was one of the biggest inside mids going around, like big, strong, ran hard, and yeah, it was just crazy. It was just crazy.
First game, you kick a goal. Do you win?
Port Adelaide, yeah, we did.
It wasn't first kick. It wasn't first kick first.
No, it wasn't. But I was lucky to get that game, to be honest. I was at a footy clinic in Middle Swan, as you do, footy clinics for the footy club. So I was at a footy clinic, and I got a call from Chris Bond, and he's like, Sonny, I know you had a footy clinic, but we needed to get to the airport. And I was like, airport? So this is the day before the game, and he goes, look, Hayden Ballantyne's done his hamstring at the captain's run.
Really?
We need you to come over. And I was like, oh, no worries. So I rang my mum. I was like, oh, I need to get to the airport. I didn't have my license at the time. I was like, I need to get to the airport. I'm going to fly out. And she's like, oh, no, this is crazy. Anyway, so got to the airport, cameras everywhere. Then you got Ryan Murphy there also. So it was out of me and Ryan Murphy as to who plays. And we weren't going to find out until the next day or until we got there. So it was probably one of those moments where it's like, okay, so I'm not prepared for it, but it was the best prepared I could be to play a game. So there was no nerves, there was no nothing. It was just sort of happened so quick. And I was lucky because my family's from Adelaide as well. And
Right.
My dad was over there living at the time, so it was good for him to come to the game. I didn't have no family like travelling from Perth because it happened so quick. We couldn't organise anything. So to go over there and play my first game, Amy Stadium, Port Adelaide, in front of my South Australian fan was good.
It was kind of like meant to be, eh?
It was. And it was weird. Like, it's like one of those situations where it's like you're playing your first game, but it's like in your head, you're like, did I earn it?
Yeah.
Did I earn it? Or was it just based off injury? So it was sort of based off injury, but at the same time, it was like, oh, I got my shot. Try and make the most of it.
I know for a big party career you played with Ballas. What was he like as a teammate?
What you see is what you get. Like what he's like on the footy field is exactly what he's like off it.
It's a little shit.
He's a little shit. Yeah. He's annoying. He's always doing crazy shit throughout the club. Like he'll go and park your car somewhere else, or go and fill it up with popcorn, or do something stupid. So he's always one of those annoying little rats. But he's also on the footy field someone you always know what you're going to get. Unbelievable player, and yeah, I mean, still to this day, he's one of my best mates, one of my good mates, and he's a little jockey, and he always was a jockey. Small, strong, but annoying.
Just seemed like one of those players, and I played with him at Peel before I basically made him. He's Sandover year. basically me and Ballas. I was unlucky not to win it, and he did, but so I know what he's like as a teammate. Like he was always one of those ones at AFL level once we both got there that I would look at and be like, geez, I hate him, but geez, I'd love him as a teammate. Like you got those blokes at footy clubs that everyone else hates, but that you sort of hate him because you're like, geez, I'd actually love him on our side.
Yeah.
Is that
Well, it's a love-hate. Like, it's sort of like, I know other clubs and other supporters would be like, I want him on my team. But they'll be like, he's a little shit on the footy field. They would hate him because of the way he celebrated, the way he played footy. It was hard. And, he's one of those players that I was fortunate enough I got to play with him, and he was a mature draft pick as well. I think he was 21 when he got picked up with me and Stephen Hill. So to go into the footy club with someone like that, who you can learn a lot of, obviously you're playing in the same position, but I learned a lot of him, and I played a lot of footy with him too in the end.
Can we just stay with Geelong a little bit? So there's a couple of moments at Geelong. I didn't know you were a Geelong fan, so this is good. The final in 2013 must have been a qualifying final, I think.
MCG?
No. So maybe it wasn't 2013, but the one at Cardinia Park. Did you play in that?
the qualifying. Yeah,
Yes.
gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
Qualifying 2013. That was
2012
right,
was the other one, MCG. Sorry.
Yes, but 2013, Geelong have basically whinged their way to getting a home final at Kardinia Park. First time ever. You blokes are coming over from Western Australia. No chance to win it. You're on the flight to Melbourne, bus to bloody Geelong. I've done it a million times. What's that game like leading up into it, and we know what happens. You win. Can you remember that?
Yeah, I can. It was crazy. Like the bus trip, as you speak about, it's a long bus ride, and obviously Geelong being a country town, they stuck fat with their team. So the team bus would always go the longest way. They'll take us the longest way around.
What's the driver?
Mate, the driver's taking us, and it's always one of those things, like country towns always do it. And I still remember it, me and Ross Lyon in the cafe before the game. So morning coffee, whatever, I just end up running into Ross there. And we sat down, had a coffee, and a guy walked in with his guide dogs. Right. And we're like, oh, g'day, mate, how you going? Whatever. And he sort of said, look, do you want to take the dogs? And we're like, why? Just so you can see where the goals are. So little things like that where the footy community would stick fat with their footy club in Geelong.
So was he blind?
Well, I have no idea.
But he's still seeing Sonny.
But he sees us. He still sees me. So I know I've got a big head, but surely it's not that big.
I didn't know you perform miracles.
Yeah. So, man, like the Geelong community was always, stuck fat with their team, and that was one of the best games. Obviously, going down there against Geelong, Kardinia Park, Skills Stadium or whatever it was back then. GMHBA, whatever. So to go down there and play against Geelong, who were flying at the time, to also get the win, and it was one of those iconic wins for Freo where Aaron Sandilands spoiled the ball, in the ruck, knocked it down, boundary throw in, and Stephen Hill came off the bench and kicked that goal. The 100-metre run or whatever he had still could have hit me up. If you go back to the footage, I'm actually right there. Oh. No man inside. I could have went back and had a set shot and whatever. But
you had space, but you're pushing out to the pocket.
Nah, but I was there. I could have sealed it like I've done in the past. But no, I mean Stephen Hill, you back him every time to kick those goals, and it was an unbelievable goal.
Were you out there when Bellas was punched by Matt Scarlett?
No, I wasn't. I missed that game. I probably was dropped or something, but you can understand why Matty Scarlett did it. That's all I'm saying. Like we understand why he did it. He did it for everyone, I guess.
Every backman in the country was like, yes.
Every backman in the country was like, yes, about time something happened. I'm not sure how many weeks did he get.
Well, I know what he'd get now. It'd be bloody lifetime suspension. But I reckon it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Just literally punched in the head.
Even the tribunal was like, oh, no, it was worth it. Fair play. Fair play.
So, Freo, you debut, obviously, you're there in 2009, but sort of doing a little bit of research for this. It reminded me of Gov, actually. I think you were sent away from the footy club because of your fitness.
Yeah, I was before Gov, so I started the trend.
Was it fitness? What was it? What?
No, it was a bit of both. So it was Ross got into the footy club 2012. After the 2011 season, I had a PCL surgery. So I'd done some PCL damage. Yeah. And unbeknownst to Ross, when he came in, he just saw me as someone that was unfit. When really
Chunky Sonny.
Chunky Sonny, yeah. So really, I couldn't do anything in that off season to even keep my body and my body struggles in the best of times, let alone when I'm not running. So Ross didn't know at the time, but I was coming off surgery. I came back a little bit. Lee Spur will tell you, muffin top. He used to call me muffin top. Every time we ran a lap, he'd go, I just couldn't stop staring at your muffin top, he said to me. And I'm like, Spurry, shut up. So, yeah, so I got sent. Ross gave me 3 weeks to get fit and try and do bits and pieces to try to, lose weight or whatever it may be. And I told him I'm doing everything right, but really I wasn't. And, 3 weeks forward, he sort of said, look, I remember Roger Hayden came and grabbed me off the track and said, look, we got to speak to you upstairs. And that's where Ross and all the coaching staff were there, and Chris Bond was there, and Ross was sort of like on the other side of the table. He's like, we gave you the opportunity to get fit. You didn't do it. You didn't reach the requirements for an AFL footy player, so we're going to send you back to Swan Districts. And that was like a dagger in the heart. Like, it was hard because it was one of my dreams was to play AFL footy, and I didn't really have that opportunity to. I think I played 6 games before that, and to be sent away was hard. I didn't know what to tell my partner. I didn't know what to tell my family because I was embarrassed as well. Like, it was one of those things where it's just like everyone looked up to me, everyone put a lot of hard work into me, but I've sort of let them down. So I got sent away, and I was lucky enough that I got in contact with Greg Harding from Swan Districts, and I was like, mate, is there any chance I can come and train, because I've been sent back. I need to get fit. I need to make it back to the AFL at some stage. And before that, speaking with the family, once I did tell them, I was like, I'm not sure if I want to play footy again. There's sort of, I've lost the love for the game. I got sent back. It's embarrassing. I might quit. And they sort of said, well, you don't want to be that guy that ends up quitting and looking down the track of what could have been. So I sort of thought to myself, look, try and make the most of it now while you can. If you get back, you get back. If not, at least you know you tried. So went back to Swan Districts, trained with the development squad, Colts, and then also the league. Whilst I was doing training with Greg Harding throughout the day to try and keep fit, doing my boxing in Midland, and that's where the sort of boxing program started that I've got down there through that period. Right. And yeah, it was like, looking back now, it was like a blessing, because it sort of changed me as a person, one, but then also gave me a different mindset with my training. My training went to a whole new level. Every cone now, when I was playing, I was running through every cone, even though it was lane work, I was still doing, because I never ever wanted to have that decision left in someone else's hands. So yeah, just looking back now, it sort of changed my whole mindset.
And you were what, 22, 23?
I was 21.
21?
21. So yeah, it was hard, but like I said, it's sort of something I needed, because I don't think I would have made it this far in my career to be honest, if it didn't happen. So it also takes some serious balls from a senior coach to do that too.
And did that help you later in your career, being 21 and having to figure out those sort of things and being like, oh yeah, this is what I got to do to make it back, having thoughts about quitting? Did that help you be a better mentor
definitely.
later in your career?
Yeah, definitely, because young players don't know what they don't know. So unless someone shows them or someone tells them, because it's easy to go into a footy system, and these days everyone's a lot more elite. Everyone's stronger, bigger. They know what dietary requirements are, whereas I didn't. I just purely skill. I sort of faked it just based off skill, and I didn't really understand about you got to work, you got to train in an off season. For one, I never did that. Never did that. And two, you sort of just, you're not sure what to eat. You're sort of trying to make ends meet, and you just eat whatever you can because it's cheap as well. So yeah, it was one of those things where it definitely made me a better person, but then also at the same time I can show others now, before it gets to that stage, that this is what you need to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard you a great mentor down at Freo. Just keeping on you for a second though, like Ross, you think identified that fact? Like maybe at the moment you would have thought, oh, he's casting me away, he's sort of trying to get rid of me, but sounds like he was just trying to teach you a lesson because he believed in you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that's the gist I get from that. I sort of get, in the back of his mind, I'm not sure if he thought I was going to get back, but it was sort of one of those things where it's like, I see potential, but I'm not sure if the hard work's there, the dedication is there. Yes. Whereas he sort of had to get that out of me somehow, and it gave me opportunities to get fit, but he had to make an example of me for other players too, which I get. He's trying to win a premiership as well, so he had to make an example of me to show the others as well that this is the requirement. This is what we need as a footy club. We haven't had success, and he definitely changed the culture of that footy club while I was there by doing that as well.
You must have a lot of love for Ross Lyon then.
Oh, definitely.
Changed your life by the sounds of it.
Yeah, no, he did. And like I said before, it's sort of, I'm not sure whether I would have made it this far in my career. Like, I would probably have only done 4 years max if it wasn't for him. So he definitely played a big part in my career, turned me into a different sort of player, but he saw something in me that a lot of other clubs coaches didn't. So, I essentially owe my career to him because he did change me as a player, but then also as a person also.
So that was 2012? You were leading goal kicker in 2013?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's almost a bit of proof is in the pudding, right? Like,
Yeah.
you immediately bounced back. You boys made a grand final in 2013.
Yeah, well, I went back to Swan District. So
Yeah, that's what actually. Yeah, you're right. How long did it take you in Swan District to turn around?
I think I was back there for 13 weeks.
Right, so it was a good stint.
It was a good stint. And I came back in round 18 against Melbourne. The week before, I was at Swan District still. Came back, got my skinnies done, I dropped, and I was playing some good footy, consistent footy at Swans too. So then I came back, and he goes, look, we need your skinnies tested, we need your weight tested, jump in the ices. So jumped in the ices, tightened up the body a little bit.
Is that a trick, is it?
Done. Well, apparently it's a trick because it worked. So I got it done, and then got the skinnies done anyway. I passed. He goes, all right, how do you feel about coming to Etihad and playing against Melbourne? And it was crazy because the week before I wasn't sure whether I was getting back. And then, that week, Melbourne, Etihad, kicked 3, held my spot since.
Spin out.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so that's 2012, 2013, leading goal kicker, playing a grand final. It's a big turnaround, mate, to spend 12 weeks in the waffle, effectively career on the line, and then you're playing in a grand final. Do you think about that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's crazy. And obviously it didn't go away, but it's still one of the career highlights was to be able to see what grand final day is like. Obviously we didn't get a premiership like you, but we had an opportunity to win it too. So, it's a big turnaround. It's one of those things where it's sort of, you look back on it now and you're like, man, that 2013 team we had was stacked. It was a good team, and it was a role-driven team, but then a lot of players played on sheer talent, and it was definitely one of the best seasons of my career that I just went out there and just enjoyed it. Sometimes you go into games and you're like, how much are we going to win by today? And there was and that's a bloody good feeling too sometimes.
Yeah.
To have that confidence and to have that belief in each other was unreal. And sometimes me and Bellas walk up to each other and say, how many kicking today? You're going to kick 3? Kick 4?
In front of the defenders too.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, 2013 was sort of essentially put the club on the map for the first time in his career.
How do you look back on that day? How do you look back on the grand final?
Yeah, like I said, we had opportunities for sure.
Yeah.
But Hawthorn are a quality team. They went on and won 3 in a row. So,
don't worry, I was on the receiving end too.
So we kickstarted for them, I reckon.
Thanks, boys.
That should have been us to get that three-peat, but nah. I look back on it and it's like just the whole lead up. The way that West Australia got behind us, they were travelling across in a bus, planes, driving, like it was insane. And we did have a good support base over there as well. So, the West Australian public got behind us. The whole of Australia got behind us. Running out, it seemed like the whole place was just wrapped in purple. So it's a different feeling, but a feeling that I'll never forget, albeit we lost. It's something that I'll look back on for the rest of my life.
The grand final parade, moments like that.
Moments like that where you take I took Layla, my daughter.
Did you?
Yeah, and that was once again one of the career highlights. Like to be able to share a moment with your daughter was one of the best things. And I mean, just the parade, like the whole Melbourne, as you know, it just shuts down. No one's working, everyone's there. And if they are working, they're not at work. They're just at the parade. So the whole strip's full. Wherever you drive, just everyone's screaming, and you don't realise how many people know your name until you really go to an interstate.
Yeah.
And you're just travelling on the back of a ute and everyone's screaming out to your name. It's crazy.
Would you do anything differently if you had your chance again? So it's 2015 is probably the year that was the one. I reckon you finished on top. Lose that prelim at home. If you had your chance again in a grand final and you know what you did about 2013, would you have done anything differently?
I think
either individually as a team?
Yeah, I think as a team we sort of prepared well, but we weren't prepared for what exactly it was. Because we'd never done it before, and a lot of the players in the team, I don't think anyone played in a grand final. So it's sort of one of those things where it's like you prepare as best you can, and you prepare the same way you would that sort of got you there. And that's what we sort of did, not knowing that it was just going to be a completely different feeling.
Right.
The MCG, we don't play there too much. It does get swirly. I didn't really miss too many, but but no, in saying that, like it is swirly, it is different, the crowd's different, and something much bigger is on the line as well in the premiership. So, that was, I think, in terms of trying to do something different, not really sure, but we prepared the best we could.
Yeah, because I just think, our 15 grand final was worse than yours. Like, we weren't even a chance, really. 10 minutes after the third quarter started, we're done in the first quarter, basically. And if we hadn't had that experience, we wouldn't have won 18. And we were very lucky to get another opportunity, but we changed a lot talking about the grand final parade. Like, in 15, I remember come around that top corner as you come down the hill, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's 200,000 people there. It's unbelievable. And I just remember thinking, like, I'm $1 million here. Like, I'm the best in the world. 2015. Like, I'm a big dog. I've done it. I've made it. This is the moment that I've been searching for. But then you get the second opportunity, and I remember the second parade, I just was like, oh, sweet, like, whatever, because when you lose it, it cuts at you deep, or cut me deep, and I was just like, the parade's irrelevant, the fanfare's irrelevant, although great. If you get there and you lose it, that's the relevant thing. So 2018, we were able to implement a lot of that. That's why I'm asking, like, would you change anything if you had your chance again? And you don't know. I know you don't know. But my whole mindset was completely different, because I agree with you. Like, you get out in the middle of the MCG first time around a grand final, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? This is just... It's different to everything you've ever done.
Yeah. And in saying that, like, I think how taxing it is on your body, and just the emotion, how draining that is too. So doing the parade, getting tickets ready for family was just crazy too. So you got all these other things that everyone's ringing you, like, oh, how are you going to go? What's any tickets? What? So you just do nothing but turn your phone off, because you're like, I just can't deal with this right now. Like, it's overwhelming. And like you said, with the parade stuff, that's overwhelming within itself. You're going out there and you're just drained. Travel, doing all that sort of stuff, the media stuff, meetings, and making sure that everything, and plus in the back of your mind, knowing that it's a big moment, not only for yourself, but the footy club. They've never done it before, never won one. So you have a lot of expectation to being the first to do it. So I think a lot of emotion and a lot of other things around the outside that sort of made it a lot more draining than what it actually needed to be.
How did you'd probably be able to answer this as well with 2015 and then 2013 as well? How do you kind of handle that post grand final, that feeling post grand final, and then being like, all right, I got to get to work now?
Yeah, like the next year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you answer first, mate. But
yeah. Well, it's one of those. Well, we ended up
because you had a patch.
We had a patch, so we had a patch from there to 2016, I think it was, and we sort of did the same thing, but we had a lot more experience in terms of we've been there before. So, and there's also no guarantees of getting back, but we knew we could give ourselves a good opportunity to do that. And we played. We had the team. We had the right brand of footy, and I think that we went to the final and got knocked out straight sets. I think it was the next year. Port Adelaide got us at Subiaco Oval, and I think we finished on top of the ladder maybe that year. And you think all the stars are aligning. Like, you lose one, all right, we're guaranteed to be back, and we're going to win it. But at the same time, we got knocked out in straight sets, and we're not sure if we definitely didn't get ahead of ourselves. That's not exactly correct. We didn't get ahead of ourselves, but at the same time, it's like we also had opportunity then too, but we obviously got knocked out in straight sets. So it's hard to sort of put a finger on whether, is that opportunity good or whatever it may be, but yeah, we had opportunities.
I mean, in the end, there's one premier. Like, there's one premiership team every year. The other 17 sides now, 15 in other years. Like, it's every year's a failure other than one team, and you need a lot of luck. Like, you guys continuously put yourself in a position to win one, and you don't win one, and half of that's luck. I think, and it doesn't mean you need to be lucky to win one, but you just things to go well. You need moments to go well. You need injuries not to happen. You need. I think a lot of sides, especially once they get the finals, their structure and system and coach and players, they're all good. Like, every side that'll play finals this year and every year, they're all good sides. To go and win a flag, like, a lot of things need to go right. You need moments in games where people stand up, and if you don't, well, it's all over. Like, it's cutthroat, right? Like, it's I'm thinking about 15, and I know it gets laughed at. Tommy Sheridan, dropping that one in front of Cyril. That's just a moment that if he marks it and it could be just a completely different way of in the future from one moment.
Yep.
Like every AFL player that's ever played has moments.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Tommy, and bringing it up, Tommy Sheridan laughs at it and he always brings it up, but there was other moments too that's happened that people don't really see or acknowledge, but they see that one moment, and that's the one that stands out because obviously Cyril kicked that goal, the celebration, and it was deep in the last quarter, but that wasn't the only moment that let us down. There was other moments within that sort of, so you can't put all the blame on Tommy too, even though he probably does it himself.
What'd you do? Did you miss goals in that
No,
game?
no, probably. But yeah, I mean, there's, like you said, moments are the ones that play a big part. They're a big factor within games. And, you want to be on the right end of those moments, but sometimes you're just unlucky.
We should have had a Western Derby grand final that year.
Imagine that. That would've been
What do you reckon would have happened?
We would have won. Yeah, no doubt.
I'll tell you what, it might even be an empty bloody stadium.
No, it would have been unbelievable.
Knowing that there'll be no
Perth would've
like Victorians teams in it, everyone would be like, nah, stuff it. Let's just go somewhere else.
It would have changed the
Mate.
history of WA footy.
Oh, Perth
Mate,
would have gone
definitely,
chaos, man.
Definitely, it would have been insane, but woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I was playing taller by that stage. I wouldn't have to play on you or Bella. Oh, no, yeah, Bellas was playing there, wasn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't have had to touch either of you. I can tell you that right now.
We never did.
I'll wait for it.
It's bloody good. So, lost opportunity there in 15, no doubt. Talking about moments, and he tried to lead himself into it before kicking goals after the siren or near the siren. Like, you've had some big moments, mate.
I
Haven't
think I'm
you?
going to say jumping on Gov's head. But
Don't worry, I'll lead you into that. Yeah.
It was his wallpaper for a bit.
yeah,
For a bit.
right.
Still
yeah,
is.
right. Yeah, right.
Kicking goals near the end of games to win games, that's proper pressure.
Yeah, it's pressure.
And you did it 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. Well, one was a point, but I did that.
Yeah, one was a point. One was a point.
But I did that because it looks better than a goal sometimes.
Didn't you hit the post?
Hit the post, yeah.
So you missed.
Yeah. 3/4 high too, from 50. Who would have thought I had a big kick like that? But yeah, moments. You got to take those moments, and I'm always one that backed in my goal kicking routine. Obviously, it didn't work the first time against Brisbane, hit the post, but also had 25. But that's another story. That's neither here nor there. But and two that game, but that's another story. But in all seriousness, I mean doing an Indigenous round, something that I'm proud of my culture, and the AFL do an unbelievable job when it does come to Indigenous round. So to do that, the first game against Brisbane, Optus Stadium, hit the post, won the game, celebrated hard, and then to go to the MCG against Collingwood, who were flying at the time as well.
Yeah, we hate them.
It's bloody hard to go there and win too. Bloody hard to to go across there and win. And I mean, with 40 seconds or whatever it was to go in the game, Nat Fyfe torpedo off the wing, and it just fell in my lap. So
He was trying to kick a drop punt too.
tell you what, moments. We talk about moments. That was a moment where it just fell in my lap, and I was lucky enough that I marked it and went back and kicked it. So Brandon Matera actually marked it with 10, 15 seconds to go in the game, and I was in the pocket by myself. Should have just hit me up again. I could have well and truly sealed it. But
you mentioned one of them being in Indigenous round. So a lot of my great mates are Indigenous, but clearly, boys, I'm not Indigenous. Right? Yeah, correct.
I just could have sworn we was related.
Can you both just speak about the importance of that? Because like one of my favourite parts of footy, especially towards the end, West Coast used to have the Indigenous lads stand up and talk about their culture, talk about how close they were to community and their family. And to be frank, like as a Caucasian white Australian that doesn't have any of that, like you boys' connection to your past and to your family, like shit's all over anything I've ever seen, right? So I used to love it. I used to sit there and be like, this is amazing. I got goosebumps talking about it. Can you talk about that, like, and how important it is to you boys and why Indigenous round means so much?
I guess it's...
And probably even further back, right?
Yeah, heaps. I guess it's everything to us. Indigenous round is a chance for us to really express who we are, show that our culture is still alive today, still thriving today. And I think, going into games with that sort of mindset and that sort of, pride, you get some of the best highlights. I think Eddie Betts kicks goal of the year every Indigenous round he's ever played in.
I've actually got the jumper too that he did that.
Yeah. But
Nice.
I think that sense of pride is like, all right, I'm playing for something more than just myself, more than just my team. I'm playing for my people, and It's like when that, I don't know how do you feel when that jersey gets on? It kind of feels like a bit of a super suit, I guess.
Yeah, it does. And the thing is too with the jerseys is it tells a story as well. So you get people that design different jerseys and tells their story about their life and where the club connection comes from and how the members connect with that as well. So like you said before, it's a chance to teach history, look back at the past, but also the present and going forward as well. So Indigenous rounds a special time. We've got to celebrate it, but then also it's good to see so many multicultural players come through the system as well. So you're celebrating a lot more than just the Australian way. You're celebrating the life and the cultures of all sorts. So Indigenous round's important. And you see, like you said before, Eddie Betts and these players that they just seem to pop up in these moments. But I don't think it's the moment that gets it. I think it's just sheer talent that sort of stands up. And the way that the AFL do it these days is just with smoking ceremonies and events that carry on throughout the week. It's just unreal.
Well, some of the best moments is, and you guys would have had this as well, is when non-Indigenous players, sometimes they might not know or might have questions that are kind of lingering, and then it kind of opens up that conversation to know a little bit more about culture and give a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like you would have had, I can't say how many not dumb questions, but how many wild questions I've had about, tell me something about the didgeridoo or something about anything, and it's just a good laugh and it's a good way to be able to connect with, the other players on the team.
Yeah, well, there's no better moment and no more powerful moment than when you get a non-Indigenous player talking about the Indigenous culture. Like, it's a moment of sharing and a moment of learning, and you can always get the Indigenous guy to come up and do a press conference or do this and that, but there's nothing more powerful than a senior coach or a non-Indigenous player to come out and speak about how proud they are of the culture. And Freo's got a massive Indigenous history along with West Coast as well, and like I said, West Australia is, and along with the Bombers as well, are, three of the best teams to do it in the AFL, I reckon.
I don't know. I don't reckon anyone knows this. I don't think I've ever said this, which is amazing given how much talking I do across all platforms. So, do you at all remember Friends family flags that West Coast? Have you ever seen that, the Friends family flags? So in 2018, you do a trademark session and you come up with what you're going to stand for, right? You would have done at Freo. 2018 was, and it's sometimes rare, right? I reckon sometimes the coach drives it, sometimes you got the whole club involved. But if you really just have player-driven stuff, that's when it becomes powerful, right? So 2018, I remember sitting pre-season, it was trademark time. It was like no coaches in the room, it's players only. Friends family flags is what we use for the entire year, and like the kind of thing that's famous is at the end of the year we're in the rooms after winning the premiership, and we've ticked friends, we've ticked family. That was the pre-game address, and then there was a box for flags that was unticked, and then Bunga comes in with the cup, ticks the flags, right? But Friends family flags was come up in that players only session, and it was Willie Rioli and Liam Ryan who come up with it. So we all sit off in different groups and come up with things, and boys are going, let's be a hard running team and let's
generic,
like skillful and let's win contested ball and tackle hard, all this bullshit. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
So say, of course you're going to do that.
Mm.
And I remember again, it was I think it was Willie and Liam. They stood up together and they're like, this is why we play. We play to make our friends happy, to make our family proud, and we want to win a cup. And like, again, I goosebumps thinking about it, right? Like, that is as powerful a message as I've ever seen. And yes, we go and win a premiership, that's fine. But if we hadn't have, I still look at that year and be like, well, we played for that. But that was Indigenous culture. Like, I think it's a brilliant example of what it means and why you do it. Like, would you both say that resonates with you, like the friends and family part of things?
Yeah, definitely, because family and friends are the ones along with the journey. You may make the AFL or whatever sport, whatever. You may be successful in business, but family are always the ones that are going to be there, especially when shit gets tough, right? Like, so, whenever you are going through the tough situations or whatever it may be, friends, family will always be there regardless. You play with teammates and you would play with a lot of players that sometimes you don't connect with now. You don't talk to. You actually just don't even message. Yeah. And friends and family will always be there, regardless of if they agree with some things that you say and do or whatever. But they'll always be there. And I think with Indigenous culture, and you would back me on this, that we'll always have that connection, regardless if we see each other. And that's why the Indigenous All-Stars were so good, because we always had that same bond. We're not related, but we have the same values as well. So to go out there and play with each other, you can put us all in a room after not even speaking to each other for a year, and you'll still have that laugh, still have that connection. So that's what I feel like with the culture.
Well, that's the thing. When you're you guys would know, when you're so focused on flags as a goal, kind of friends and family kind of dim a little bit, and then you're like, oh, I've got to, I'm so focused on this, and then if flags start to become, a little bit difficult, that starts to dim a little bit. What brings you back to, making it is your friends and is your family, and it's kind of weird. It's weird how it kind of, weighs itself against friends and family as well, which is great. And you can see that with the All-Stars. I mean, you see what they did to Freo off a team, that's only been together for a week, but you can see the connection. Yeah, 3 days.
3 days.
But you see the connection that's had, and it's like, it's universal amongst our culture. Our culture's all about connection.
I know you were bloody proud of being captain of that side. Can you tell us a bit about that experience?
Oh, man, it's unreal. Like you said.
Captain Courageous.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I was tough. And we only won it because of me. No, I only played a half. But, I mean, we were only with each other three days. And like I said before, I was the older guy there, which is weird. Act like the youngest sometimes. But the older guy there, so I got the opportunity to captain them, and it's something that I've always wanted to do throughout my career. I grew up watching Andrew McLeod's and the Davey brothers run around in those games in Darwin. So it's definitely one of those games I wanted to play my entire life as a young kid. And I had the opportunity back in 2015, got injured, got pipped at the line. I got injured the week, 2 days before. Did a hammy, so I missed that opportunity. And I think that was against West Coast as well at Leederville. So I never got my opportunity there, but I finally got the call this, early on in the year to say that, we want you to be the captain of the All-Stars. And straight away I was like, yep. I just got out of surgery too. And I was like, yep, I'm doing it. I got my body to a level where I was able to play a half a game. And that whole week of just connection, we had the hierarchy of the AFL come across and running different clinics. So the opportunity to take the kids out, the players out to see kids in the community, whether it's school or whether it's footy clubs, was an opportunity of a lifetime, because a lot of them wouldn't see Jarman Impies and, Hugo Hagen was over at the time. So a lot of them would have idolised a lot of those players, and for them to get an opportunity that they wouldn't necessarily have any other time was just a highlight within itself. And the game was just unbelievable. As you said, we went out there, we played against Freo, which is crazy how the stars aligned with that too. The universe is weird the way it works, that me, one club player, a club that I love dearly in the Dockers, played my first game against them with the Indigenous All-Stars that I've always wanted to play with. So it was sort of like it was a weird connection there, and something that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, first and last game against your one club side. It's mad.
Then again, I did play Mandurah, Melbourne, kick 3.
Yeah.
But that's another story within itself again. That's another story.
You'll just roll out your highlights.
That's what he does. Welcome to my world.
Well, no one else is talking about me these days, so I've got to talk about myself now.
But, you talk about that week, and Perth was full of just Indigenous footy legends. Like, when we went to that dinner, you had, Majo McLean up, you had Troy Cook up.
Michael Long.
You had all these amazing players, Uncle Louis Jetta there, Uncle Leroy Jetta there, and, surrounded by, past and present legends. That must have been just a surreal feeling, man.
Yeah, it was it was unbelievable. I mean, we went to the breakfast, we had a bit of a feed together, got to have a yarn, got to talk about different things, and, the past superstars who also paved the way for us as well. They're the ones that sort of gave us the opportunity to be able to play the way we're playing with no care, freedom, and guys that we looked up to. But then you get the hierarchy at AFL who really made a big deal of it, which they're doing well as well. So they made a big deal of the whole All-Star game. And then you get a lot of also the non-Indigenous past players and representatives from the AFL that sort of came there and, had a laugh and joined in everything that we did. So that within itself was just a massive thing for the AFL. You know, you can easily tick that off because it was something that brings us all together and something that's hopefully stays around for a long time.
We'll get back onto some of your highlights because I know you're keen to talk about sitting on Gov's head. But if we can stay on like a little bit, it is a heavy topic, and I think about it a lot around racism, right? So, and you're speaking about teammates and other clubs, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but like I look at a football club environment, I sometimes think if you could actually take that into the actual real world, like we'd actually be all okay. I think like footy clubs are bloody understanding places, and you guys speak about your own experiences, but at West Coast, you know, there's no racism within a football club. You're all family, really. Like, and your level of understanding and acceptance and respect is at a very, very high level. It's when it gets outside the football club, and I know you've had social media stuff, you would have had in-person stuff, no doubt. You as well is. What are your thoughts on that around footy club environment versus regular idiots basically, or punters in the public? Is lack of understanding? Is it a education piece? Is it a respect piece? Is it everything? You tell me.
Well, in a team's perspective, I think there is some racism stuff that does go on, but I don't think it's directed as racism. So I've had stuff on my team where I've had to pull a player aside. Because he's been like, oh, you're not full Aboriginal, or you're half caste, and I've had to pull him aside and be like, hey, bro, like, that terminology is a bit racist. We don't really see it like that. But because you're on that teammate, brother sort of level, it's so much easier to have that conversation. You know what I mean? Have you ever had to?
Well, it's a bit like, regardless of where you are, whether it's at a footy club or whatever it may be, but you see a group of boys walking, the Aboriginal, and everyone's like, oh, the brothers. Like, why are we the brothers? You don't call a group of non-Indigenous boys the brothers, or you don't say, oh, the boys. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a sort of, it's not directed racism, but it could be seen as indirected as well, because it's just like, okay, well, you're calling us the brothers because we're all sitting together, but there's a group of you non-Indigenous people, players, whatever it may be, sitting together. It's like, we're not saying don't come sit with us. We don't always have to go and sit with you to make it whatever it may be. So, I mean, those things are out there. It's out there in the world. But like I said, footy clubs are the best places to be in terms of we understand each other's culture. There could be more learnings, but at the same time, it's like we're also willing to learn about different racisms, different cultures and different races, regardless of what it is. So, and I think Freo, and I can't speak for West Coast, but I would assume it's the same, that, we have Indigenous PDM there, and he's always talking about not only the Indigenous side, but also the multicultural side too. We always have multicultural cook-ups and getting, Brandon Walker and Bailey Banfield to speak to their parents about getting recipes in and having a bit of a feed. So you're learning in those little ways, and also having lunch is the best place to connect with each other as well.
And it's a level of willingness, I guess, to be educated and, be a little bit vulnerable. Like, oh, I know this question might sound a little bit stupid, or, I know this, like a welcome to country's been done all the time, but I actually have questions about it. I guess it's that willingness and vulnerability to be like, you know what, I'm gonna be educated here. I'm gonna ask it, and then also from an Indigenous side, it's like, all right, I'm gonna, say if you ask me a question, I'm gonna look at Will and be like, you know what, I'm actually gonna sit down with this bloke and have a yarn. So I think if the world took that culture from, sport, from our sporting environments, it would be a much easier place to have those sort of conversations.
And that's probably not just race, to be honest, boys. Like if you're talking about mental health, or you're talking about, race, sex, religion, like any of those things. Like, my experiences, not in just race, but all of those other issues. Like footy clubs are actually the best places when we actually get out into other areas, and you got a lot of other people come from different ways. People, the lack of, probably vulnerability is a good way to put it. Actually, it's like the acceptance to be like, I'll ask a question, and I'm not always right, or I don't understand, or whatever it is.
But also the challenge as well. Like, and it's not challenge in a way where it's taking a dig at them, but it's like, oh, hold on, I don't like the way you said that. Like, it's a little bit different.
And you can do that in a footy club.
And the other thing is too, with the mental health side of things, which is a huge topic within sport, within life, and in society. Like, man, everyone's going through it. So footy clubs are the best thing because you know each other well. You're with each other every day. You can see if someone's acting a bit not themselves. So it's easy to go up and speak to them and be like, mate, you going all right? if you ever need anything, you can speak to me, or you feel comfortable with going to someone and speaking to them about your life because you have that strong connection. And I think the art of talking and the art of creating these sort of these spaces where you can communicate is important for footy clubs, for life, anywhere, and footy clubs are the best at doing it.
You've been out of the club long enough to realise you're going to miss that side of things?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And you can see where people essentially get lost when they do leave the footy system, because the sense of structure, having the people around to sort of help you out when you're actually not sure. You can go on your phone and you got the club emails or schedules to tell you where to be at what time, at where, lecture theatre, you know what I mean? So those things you can get lost. And then the structure with getting up and waking up for something. Like if you don't have something outside of footy and that's why I'm still trying to I'm still trying to find my head as well, because you have to try and meetings here, meetings there. And I'm only doing that to obviously trying to build something, but at the same time, I'm trying to give myself motivation to get up and to try and stay in that sort of routine.
Purpose.
Yeah.
It's very easy to have purpose at a footy club. It's like, we want to win a premiership. We want to be a good team. Purpose is so easy. Like AFL level, like you don't need, honestly, it's like anyone searching for purpose on an AFL list, like you don't understand what outside of an AFL list looks like, right? It's like purpose is a piece of piss at AFL level.
Yeah. And sport, AFL, basketball, whatever, maybe it's a small bubble. And you think that as a young kid, you're coming through, I want to play AFL. So it becomes this big thing for you. And you're like, that's the only thing I want to do. So education, school, I wasn't a big fan of it. And I didn't, as you can tell. That's why I'm talking a lot now. But yeah, school and all that sort of stuff. As a young kid, I was like, I don't need this. I'm going to the AFL. I'm going to try and make it big. Like I want to play footy. And you don't realise that you're only one injury away from retirement. And then also work-life balance. You play your best footy when you're doing something outside of it. And that's where I found that going back to Ross Lyon was huge on it. He's huge on making sure that you got something outside of footy to just take you away from that at times too, because the external pressure and the internal pressure is huge. You know, am I going to play this week? Am I going to get dropped? Then you got he's not performing, media, whatever it may be. So that work-life balance is huge. And I didn't realise that until I got drafted or until shit hit the fan where it's like, okay, I'm dropped. What am I going to do now? I'm playing waffle. How am I going to get back in the team? And that's where a lot of mental health gets created too. Not sure of exactly what you're doing or what you want to do. So with me right now, I'm still trying to find my feet, but at the same time, I'm putting myself out there and I'm giving myself opportunities to just do something.
Well done, mate. And you always have the memories, like taking hangers on Gov's head. I want you to talk me through moment by moment. Maybe give us a bit of a build up.
Well, we spoke about it before. My screensaver, that was for a bit, but the worst part about it is I was so high that I couldn't see Gov. So that's the other thing. But in all seriousness, it was a funny moment, because if you go back and look at it, I can see him coming and I'm like, okay, he's a roll-off defender and he's a bloody good roll-off defender too. So as I saw the ball coming, I'm like, I'm going to get an early jump at it. And this is everything that's gone in my head. At the time, it was fucking slow motion for me. It was like the ball's coming, Gov's there, and I can see him looking at me, but then when he looked at the ball, he did not take his eyes off it. As you know, he's as courageous as you get within footy. He'll go back with the flight without even caring about what's coming his way. So I just thought, he's not taking his eye off it. I'm just going to get a little jump on his little wing here. And he lifted it. Once I got up there, you can see him. He's looking at me and he's like lifted his arm and he's like, oh, fuck, he's on me. And it honestly felt like I was just hovering in the air. It was the best feeling in the world. Obviously, having Gov, who's a strong man, I know he's not going to go to ground. He's just going to hold me there. And he gave me a little boost, bang, marked it, fell back. On my way down, I see him looking, and the smirk and the smile was just, I was just like, oh my God, I got him. And I knew straight then that he was like, you little prick. Like I knew
Because he laughed too, didn't he?
No, he laughed. And he even helped me up.
That's right.
And then as we're running back, I passed the ball off in the forward 50 to someone. I can't remember who it was. And as we're walking back to the goal square, Brad Shepherd, Gav, poster boy, how are you? And he's like, oh, fucking shut up, Shep. And he's like, mate, poster boy, stuff that. And I was like, oh, this is funny. But that's the thing with footy. And, you do create, connection with other players, and you're able to have that laugh. And, you don't expect two players from the same team make fun of each other, but that's one of those things that I always look back on and always remember and always laugh at.
Well, Gov spent like a number of years growing up in a remote community, and he played a lot of footy against Indigenous players. So I reckon he knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
And he was just like, this is back to bloody being
Apparently,
a kid.
well, apparently he's at Bunnings now as a stepladder. So I created a new career for him as well, which is a good thing. So he's retired now. He's in Bunnings, so it's good.
Mate, what was that moment like retiring? I didn't see it, but you got your sort of lap of. Did you see that? You would have been MC.
Yeah. He moved pretty quick. I
heard he was slugging around a little bit. His knee looked a bit busted up.
I was sitting there and I was like, bro, slow down. You're retiring because of your knee. Like, you're moving a bit quick here.
Well, they gave me 6 minutes. So with the interview before it with Pete
12.
Yes.
to walk around, I had 6 minutes. Fuck knows how I was going to do that. So as I'm walking, I'm just sort of stumbling. So I'm walking, waving to everyone. Then I had the media guy in front of me. He's like, we need you to come. So I'm like, oh, for fuck. So I end up going, and I mean, I was a bit crook at the time too. So I had the flu, and it rattled me big time. But I was almost going to pull out, to be honest. I was almost going to say, look, I can't do it. I'm fucking crook at the moment. And it was one of the best things ever. Like, I'm so glad that I did it. I'm so glad, because at the start, my kids didn't want to do it. They were embarrassed. They were scared. My friends are going to be there, they said. And I was like, well, it's a good opportunity for you to do it. So anyway, as we're walking around, man, it was to see the smiles on their faces. It was an emotional time, but it was one of the things that I'm proud that the club gave me the opportunity to do that, because I did put my heart and soul in that footy club, and I wanted to win a premiership and one club player, but the way they got around me and made me feel to be honest, they made me feel like a champion, and I felt good. So I thank the club for that. And I'm, one of those things where I'm glad my kids were there to witness it, because to see the smiles on their faces, that's something I'm going to miss, is seeing my kids getting ready to watch dad play. And that's one of the things that, I'll truly miss and always be one of the best memories throughout my career.
It looked like Fred did a great job. Can you take us inside like the decision making process, and even like the moment you tell the footy club you're going to retire? Like how's it go? I remember mine. Fucking COVID. Don't worry about lap of honour. I didn't even get a press conference. Done. See you, Scully.
Yeah, it's
But what's the decision making process for you? And then who are you talking to? Are you talking to JL? Are you talking to Simon? What happens?
Yeah, it's a fucking emotional time, as you know. Like I said before, your whole life is based around making it to the AFL. Then all of a sudden, it's like I'm at the end of it, and I sort of come to terms with it. Maybe a quarter of the way through the season, my knee's not getting right. I'm 34. I know that this is when my contract ends, and and there was no way I was thinking about like, oh, I'm going to sign another contract. I'm going to do this. I just wanted to just get back and play some consistent footy, and it was a tough time because I sort of spoke to my wife about it throughout the whole year. I kept in the loop of what I'm actually thinking, and to be honest, I was at the club working my backside off to try and get back, training in pain. I was a little bit sore, telling the footy club that I'm good. I'm not feeling it like at times, and just so I can get back to play that game, because in the back of my mind I'm like, this is it. This is going to be done. So it was hard. I went and saw the surgeon and sort of said, look, your bone bruising's there. For it to completely heal, you have to be off it completely. So you're meant to fully deload, and I tried doing that for 9 weeks and it didn't really work. So it's a longer sort of period that I had to do it. And he sort of ripped the Band-Aid off essentially. In the back of my mind, I wanted to do it. I wasn't sure when. I didn't have the guts to do it. But for him to tell me that, look, it's probably it for you. Like, he didn't say it in those words, but he sort of essentially said in a nicer GP sort of way, this is it. When you should retire, because at the back end, you still got this massive part of your life to live, and you still want to be with the kids and play sport, and I want to get out there and dominate Izzy in basketball. So I need the knee. So
I thought you were already dominating.
Oh well, mate,
See
one
how
leg.
he contradicts himself.
But anyway, it's about me. It's about me, boys. So it's one of those
Back
things.
to me.
It was bloody hard, and to tell the boys, and to keep it a secret for a day or two was hard, because I have a strong connection with, with the Indigenous multicultural boys, but everyone throughout the footy club, and to keep it a secret because the club wanted me to have the opportunity to tell them, and it was important for myself to do that as well. So it was bloody hard. And then when you're standing in front of the group, you know, no matter how much you rehearse in the shower of what you're going to say that morning, it's sort of, you get there and it just flows. And you're like, oh, fuck, here we go. And you feel it, the lips quivering, and you're like, oh, mate, I'm just going to bawl my eyes out here. So, and then you got Michael Frederick who's sitting there in the corner with his face in his shirt. And I'm like, there's no need for this, Freddie. Like, I actually need a shoulder to lean on, and you're actually being piss weak at the moment. So who's retiring, me or you? So it's one of those things, but man, it's like, I never ever thought that it would come to that. But then, you know, it happened, and I'm glad that I was able to tell the group, did the press conference, cried like a baby in that, and yeah, it was emotional week for sure.
That's good though, mate. Emotions are good. I loved watching it.
Yeah, I feel like your press conference was kind of like the way, it was so much of, you know, yeah, it was about you, but it was so much of you in it. Like, you had the humour in it, you had your laugh, and, you know, making fun of, you know, this, that, and the third. I think it was just perfect. It was a perfect.
Well, the one thing I wanted to do with it, and it's like not too much rehearsal, but I just wanted to be genuine and show that there's a lot of ebbs and flows. There's a lot of, you know, within a footy career, sporting career, it's a fucking roller coaster. A lot of emotion, your ups, your downs, the in-betweens. It's as a footy player, a lot of people don't realise that, you know, oh, they're getting paid enough. They're getting paid a lot of money. You know, what are they stressed out about? But there's a lot of stress within sport, and those stresses are what I'm going to miss too, to be able to, you know, to feel like, you know, I'm going out here for a purpose, but then I'm going out here to win the game. All right, how am I going to recover from that game because we got beaten or I'm sore? So those emotions I'm going to miss. But, you know, you can still lead in different areas. I still see myself as a leader, and whenever those guys need me, I'm always there. So, yeah, it's weird.
Is it harder, or how do you feel about this current team? Like, I'll say what I think. I think it's a side that can win a flag. Like, and I don't have any connection to anybody in there, and I haven't played my whole career there. Does that make it more difficult, or you sit here going, "Geez, I'm proud of what I've helped build there from a cultural point of view"?
Yeah, I'm proud of what I was able to achieve, and what I've sort of, in some way, shape, or form, I've sort of helped build a culture, I hope. And whether that's the footy culture or just going in there and just being a fucking good bloke, just going to have a laugh and being the kid brain that I am. So I'm glad I was able to be a part of that, and I can see the footy club going on to do special things. You know, I've always wanted that club I've always wanted to be a part of the first to do it. You know, I was unable to do that, but I'm not envious. I'm not pissed off. I don't hold any vendetta against anyone. I want to see nothing but success for that footy club. I want to see every single player in that footy club hold that cup up, although I'll fucking be there. I'll be there. Don't worry about that. Security won't catch me on that footy field. Even with the one leg. Even with the one leg. I will hobble across there. But I want to see nothing but success for that footy club, for everyone in it. And more importantly, I want to see guys like Nat Fyfe able to finish on a good note, whether it's this year, next year, to just finish on a good note, and be a part of that, you know, because he's built a lot within that footy club, almost essentially put it on the map, winning 2 premierships and doing what he's done. So, yeah, nothing but success, I hope.
Cool, mate. Well said. I think that's a good way to sort of finish the chat between Kaya podcast, BackChat podcast, Sonny Walters. But we're going to include social media, if that's okay, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
So social media is from the people. You've heard enough from Izzy and I just bumbling our way through some questions.
It's all been about me this whole time. So
It still
now
is,
it's-
mate. Well, it
now
still
it's-
is. The questions
Oh,
to
is
you.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah, this
Big
is just
fan of social
You
media.
just wanted to say social media.
This
That's what you
is-
wanted to say. Just wanted about
Sorry,
me.
one more time. Can you give social media a plug?
Social media. There we go.
This is from the people for you, mate. Paddy Money from Social says, what did you enjoy about playing with... I can't read. Who did you enjoy playing with the most in the forward line? Favourite team, mate?
Throughout that whole entire successful period, you know, you can't go past Hayden Valentine. Like we spoke about him before, you know what you're getting out of him, but then at the same time, he's someone that was an absolute superstar. Like, he played some serious footy for us. He was the one that was nudging everyone, pissing everyone off, and I was there to witness it firsthand on the field, know exactly what he said, which I can't really talk about now. But he's one that sort of pissed a lot of people off, and I was there to witness it. And I fucking enjoyed that.
Did you and I ever have any run-ins on the field?
A few times we have.
Did we?
Yes.
I actually can't.
To be honest, I said that I'll catch you at a pub.
In a good way, or were we going to fight?
No, it was in a bad way, but in my head, I'm
No, I can imagine. I would have been talking that much shit.
no, but that was I said, I may have said you're a fuckwit.
Yeah, perfect.
You're a fuckwit. And
on
you
the
know
field.
I'll see you around. But now it's all about beers.
Well, yeah, correct. We owe each other a beer probably, but like the reason I like Ballas is because I was exactly the same as him. I get off on the footy field. I'm like, I want to go to war with you, like.
Mate, but you were a prick.
Yeah,
You were an absolute prick.
Yeah,
And that's
I hope so.
And
I don't want my opposition to be sitting there going, "Geez, I love playing against you, mate." Like,
Yeah,
I loved how nice you were. Like, no.
you were a hard player to play on.
There we go.
You actually, to be honest, you were fast. You were tall, obviously, but
Strong.
But you were a good footy
looking.
player, and strong.
Can rip
yeah.
a bullet. Can rip a bullet.
Very, very good looking. Yeah. mate, you just had it all, didn't you? You just had it all. Nah, but to be honest, you were a prick of a thing to play on.
No, because I reckon we played on each other a little bit because at some stage I was a little bit skinnier towards the back end of my career, and I was a bit faster, and I used to have to play on these mid-sized guys that were kind of in between. I reckon I would have played on you, and I'm sometimes bad with footy memories, but I'm just thinking how I would have played on it. I would have been lift the prick level to highest level because you would have been that much better than me, faster, more skillful, all of that. So I would have bashed you and I would have talked shit.
Yeah,
off.
the level was high. I got a lot of punches in the little elbows.
Yep.
I still remember it to this day. It was just, yeah.
Well,
So well done.
I'd
Well
like
done,
to
by the way.
formally apologise to you. Man, I'm sorry.
I just gonna owe you owe me a beer.
I do. All right. And you can buy me one as well.
Done.
Josh Bourne 9, how do you think this current team would compare to the team in 2013?
That's a tough one. But, I mean, based off what we were able to do in 2013, I'd say the 2013 team.
At right now, at this
Right now,
moment,
at this moment.
where we're recording this 5 weeks out from the end of the season.
Yeah. So, right now, 2013, but, you can't go past the superstars that we've had. Everyone is so quick to forget that. And that sort of pisses me off sometimes because Matt Pavlich, 6-time All-Australian. What Chris Mayne was able to do in that forward line with his pressure and his sharp shooting. Hayden Ballantyne, Luke McFarlane, Aaron Sandilands, Michael Johnson, David Mundy. Like, Tendai Mzungu he played a role.
Yeah.
He played a role. Matt DeBoer played a role. Like,
Ryan Crowley.
Like, you can't go past some of those players.
Because I was thinking then, just thinking about the midfield matchup, right? So 2013 prime time. I'll give you a fifth mid role in this one, right? So you're the fifth mid in then. We've got Fife, Mundy, probably Crowley.
Yep.
Tagging Sarong. So Crowley v Sarong, Brayshaw v Fife, Mundy v Hayden
Young.
And then you're coming up inside. That's a good midfield battle. Jackson v Sandilands.
Mate, that's what I mean.
That's
what I mean.
It'd be a good game.
Mate, it'd be a good game. But, I mean, you got a lot of superstars in that 2013 team. And this team is going to be a very good team for a long time. So it's a hard one, but, based off right now, I'd say the 2013.
Lily Grace asks you, what are your plans post-footy?
Yeah, bits and pieces. Like, I'm still finding my feet, to be honest. Like I was honest before, but a bit of media space. I like to talk. I like to talk shit. Sometimes you can't really do that on TV, but I'll jump on here. I'll see why you started this.
Welcome.
But bits and pieces. Obviously, I want to do a bit with the community and also young kids coming through. So, yeah.
What about this from TJ McInnes then? Are you planning on playing some local footy next year, or are you done?
Oh, look, I will find the little bug again, no doubt about it. Footy's been a big part of my life, and I still want to play in some shape, or some way, shape, or form. And whether I just got to get my body right first, in order for me to get crunched in the in the country footy. That's hard footy, man.
I'd be careful with your words because I know teams are already trying to get him for the Bunbury Carnival.
Kalgoorlie Carnival.
So Kalgoorlie Carnival as well.
I'm like, I'm retired for a reason. I'm retired because I'm injured. So,
well, we could do a package deal because I don't know if you know, I've still got it. I don't know if you still got it.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Oh, well, as one of the great small forwards Freo's ever had, potentially you and Bella's the best ever. You just taught me through my goal.
Yeah, done.
You must have appreciated it.
I did. I'll send you a message, which
Correct.
It sort of hurt me to think, fuck, maybe I should send him a message about that because that was quite nice. It hurt me, but
That was good, wasn't it?
it was a nice goal. It was out of the ruck, grabbed it.
Straight out of the rock.
Luke Jackson, who's he?
Tom Hawkins, who's he?
Please. Mate, I was 65 out, sort of running to the boundary. 65 out? I was 70.
And I tell you what, you celebrated hard.
Fucking oath I did, mate.
Was that just one for the day?
I only needed one. We won by 9 goals, so it was the first win the team's had in 3 years.
Did you know you was going to bang it? Like when it was
never
going up, was you like, yeah, I'm banging
You
it?
know the goals that you kick, it literally, as it left my laces, 1 millimetre off them, it was never missing. Like, it was just perfection. I couldn't have written a story better.
I was watching, I was like, isn't this bloke a defender?
Yeah, that's correct.
It's the universe, brother. It's the universe.
Hard. Forwards, it's not that hard. The big sticks, just kick it through there. Freo Hub says, who's a player, past or present, that you feel does not get the appreciation they deserve?
Oh,
I like that.
that's a really good one. The appreciation they don't deserve.
No, they do deserve.
They do deserve. Oh, okay.
Yeah, as in appreciate. Like people don't appreciate what they did.
That they
for you
don't get. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So I'd say Brandon Walker. Nice. Now he is a tough cookie to play on in training, and he's fast. He does turn it over sometimes. I'm not saying he does it all the time. But, he's always looked at for that Collingwood game at the MCG where, he's sort of slipped over or he's missing kicks or whatever it may be. But he is one that is a damaging small defender that would shut down a lot of quality small forwards. So I'd say he doesn't get the appreciation. He gets a lot of RFIs on what he could do better. And that's just from social media and all that sort of stuff. But within the four walls, he's one of the quality players.
All right, I like that. A couple more. Ryan Boney says, if Freo wasn't your team, who would you have wanted to play for?
Oh, Geelong. Definitely Geelong.
You would have looked good in the hoops.
Mate, it would have been slimming as well, I reckon. That's been a big part of my career, is having that little...
Sounded like you needed it.
Just where the belly button is.
I heard your partner's giving you a bit of feedback 2 weeks out.
Yeah,
you retired 2 weeks later, you're copping it.
Thanks for bringing that up. I told you that in confidence, guys. And
he's on his way to grab a Geelong jersey on the way.
Exactly. So, yeah, she gave me some feedback about the... and I was wearing black too. Black's meant to be slimming too. And it was not
stripes. That's why he's wearing stripes today.
Taking the old photo in the car of my retirement, on our way to the retirement, and just sort of just
beautiful family moment.
Family moment. She goes, ooh. And I said, oh, what? She goes, it's not flattering. So a little belly button sort of. Everyone's got the little roll. You've got.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
I just have no idea.
What are you chuckling away for?
How do you get out of? How do you get it away?
What roll? What
Picasso over here?
Where's the roll?
Far out.
Yeah,
jelly roll.
Yeah.
Let's finish it up, boys. Last question from our socials always is from the Eggman. How does Michael Walters like his eggs?
Oh, scrambled, but I like the sunny side up sometimes. So I love my eggs.
You have to
he made the egg. He made the egg about himself. How do you make an egg about yourself?
What do you mean?
The sunny side up. You just had to add it in there.
Well done.
Well done to you.
I don't know how you work with these blokes.
Izzy, can you give me? What about you? How do you like your eggs?
Poached, man. Poached, soft poached egg over some avocado and some sourdough.
Yeah, rightio. All right,
mate. Well done today, and congratulations on a great career. Thanks for sitting and sharing a bit of the journey with us, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Social media, well done.
Social media.
This has been a special presentation from BackChat and Kaya, the Kaya podcast. Make sure we're watching for that. You boys are going to be doing some good things there. I believe we're putting this against both podcast platforms, which is going to be great. Hoping to work with you boys a bit more in the future. A big thanks to our partners. We need to get you some of these lads, I reckon. Paywise, ID Athletic, Whippersnapper Whisky, Mamba Digital, TABtouch. Shelter Brewing Co, Leaderville Precinct, Camera Electronic, and On One Services, looking after us. So if you do get an opportunity, please look after them. You can find all of our stuff at backchatpodcast.com.au. You look like you want to say something.
A couple of tongue twisters there. I don't know how you did that.
Well, mate, we get looked after, so I'd like to look after them.
Love that.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Appreciate it. Thank you.